Alright, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Toni. I'm here playing Stardew Valley with my sister Holly. Yesterday we talked about her relationship with her and her husband, how they met, got together, where they're at now, all that. Now it's time for me and my ex-husband, so stay tuned. Alright, hello?
Hi.
Alright, so today we are talking about me and Bob.
And we'll start this video by going to bed because it's almost 9 o'clock.
Oh, yes. I have been exhausted for most of the day, I think since noon, so.
We did a lot of farming today,
Yeah.
Alright,
so, me and Bob. So, I very first met Bob at a birthday party. I was working in a factory. I was 23 years old, and I had a 2-year-old son, Matthew. And I was single. I'd been single for a little over a year. Oh wow, we got all sorts of stuff. Go us. Oh, it's just now summer. Okay. So.
I like how we need to farm. We need to farm more.
Yeah. We need to farm more, and we need to
Whoa, there's a nice bike.
Uh-oh, I hope nothing broke.
We
need to get gold so that we can get coops and stuff.
Yes. Oh, we gotta find this guy's purple shorts. Mayor Lewis's purple shorts.
Okay, what do you think they could possibly be? Let me see if find and return the mayor's. We have so many things to do.
Here's a box.
We need to go to the community center.
Do we?
Yeah.
Let me see if there's purple shorts in this box, and then.
Okay.
Nope, mixed seeds. Let me go plant those. Okay. Sorry. Go on with the story.
Oh, anyway, so I was working in this factory. I was living with my roommate Sam, who is a girl. And just raising my kid. Me and Matthew's dad had, a fine co-parenting relationship, whatever. And I really wasn't super interested in dating. Okay, I need to bring an artifact to the museum. And so my best friend was engaged to this guy, and for his 21st birthday they had a party, and I went to this party, me and Matthew, and I wasn't staying very long because I had a kid. I wasn't like a partier or anything like that. Are you putting down seeds? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
And so I went to this dude's party. Okay, stop doing that. Oh my gosh. Can we please I'm just trying to close the gate. And he introduced me to this guy that had started working at our shop named Bob. And I was like, okay, whatever. I was on a different shift than them. I was working days, but I was switching back to afternoons because it worked out better for me. And so I need to go to the museum real quick, and then I want us to go check out the community house because I just want us to start going through our
our tasks.
Yeah. Okay. Stardew Valley Museum and Library. Okay, so that's where we need to go.
I'll follow you.
And so Cardell introduced me to this guy, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. I don't really care, but okay, it's right below the blacksmith. But then when I started work on the new shift the next week, I had a slightly higher position than this guy. I'd worked there a lot longer, and so I was I made more money, and I was the person that checked the parts or whatever. And so I would work with this guy sometimes, and he would hit on me. He didn't really hide the fact that he was hitting on me. but he did. And I was kind of apprehensive because number one, he was old, and number two, I just didn't really want to really date anybody. But my best friend pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to go on a date with him. So I agreed to go on a date with him. And I have told this story already, but I'll just do like the Cliff's Note version.
Yes.
The day we were supposed to go on our date, he ended up being very, very late for it because he was fighting with some guy and pulled a gun on him, and it was a big to-do apparently. And so I wasn't real sure about this dude. Like we were like sort of casually dating for a while, but I kept trying to break up with him, and everybody kept getting mad at me because they wanted me to date him. And I wasn't real sure about it. But eventually, and he told me, well, when we first started, like, when we first started talking, I don't know what I'm supposed to really do in here. It just says that we need to investigate.
Yeah, what is this thing? There's like a weird little...
Is it the little yellow man?
No, it's this little like scroll, shiny scroll thing on the ground. Or not scroll, but like...
Oh, and you can't like pick it up or read it or anything?
Yeah, you can read it, but it's not words.
Oh.
It's symbols and stuff. It's very strange. Yeah, you should look at it. I don't know if it's like a puzzle we're supposed to decode or what.
Probably. I don't really know what we're really supposed to do in this particular place. I don't know if we can hit any of this stuff. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, so when we first started talking, okay. All right.
Yeah, weird.
But when Bob and I first started like talking at work, he knew that I had a kid. So he would do this thing where like he would go on and on about his ex-girlfriend and how he did all this stuff for her kids and they called him dad and all this stuff. And I made it pretty clear right from the get-go that that was not the kind of thing that I was looking for. I was not looking for a new dad for my kid. I wasn't looking for somebody to swoop in and take care of us. Like none of that stuff interested me. And so
I just want to point out one thing.
What?
He's like, they called me dad. We had this great close bond, and then what? Just you guys broke up and you never spoke to him again. Never.
Yeah, exactly.
No, sure. You guys have a great relationship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I just. What's funny is I remember this guy that we worked with named Al. Him and I were working together one day, and he was like, be careful with Bob. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I saw him smoke crack. And I was like, you, what, Al? And he was like, I swear I saw him smoke crack in the parking lot before you switched back to the shift. Because I had originally, when I first started this job, I was working afternoons. I was good friends with everybody on that shift. They all knew me. I loved them. And then I switched to days because I thought that it would have been better for my son. Like with the way, my schedule was. Turns out it was not better because that shift started way too early and it wasn't working out well. I don't know what we were supposed to do here. Like the journal says, did we already finish that one? Or no? Do we have? Okay. Robin's lost axe. Okay.
I don't remember. Access my journal. I know that. Oh, there we go.
Okay, maybe we already did some of that.
We have to find the mayor's shorts. We have to fresh cauliflower. We have to get fresh cauliflower to Jody.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that. We don't have any cauliflower.
Pen slimes. You have to find the place in Adventurers Guild. Okay. Reach level 40 in the mines.
Yeah, I don't know how far we've gotten in the mines.
I don't know, but we could go try that.
Yeah, sure. Let's go do some more mining. Although it's already 5:30, we should do that in the morning.
Yeah, we'll do that in the morning.
Yeah, let's do mining in the morning. But anyway, so this guy Al had warned me about my yeah, the guy that I was, oh, 1 second, I gotta pause everything. Hold on, Matthew just got home. So hold on,
Okay.
Holly, I'm gonna mute and I'm going to pause everything. Okay, hello?
Hi.
Hi, sorry, Matt was dropping off Matthew.
Okay, but since time is going anyways, I
Bye.
will find the shorts.
Oh no, I had that recording that whole entire time and I didn't pause it. Oh gosh, I might have to have Matthew help me with that because I was gone for a long time. What?
I said, don't worry, this is more editing work.
But I don't edit. I don't know how to.
Oh.
So you might have to show me how to do that. Okay, anyway, sorry. Where was I at? So anyway, are we going home? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, Al had warned me about Bob because, like I said, I was good buds with with everybody on afternoons. They all knew me. Like they were kind of trying to look out for me. And when I said something to Bob, he of course told me that Al just wanted to date me and he was only lying because he blah 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 had a thing for me. And I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, obviously, I'm not going to think that Al's this horrible liar, but I'm also not going to guarantee that Al, is telling the truth because you never know.
Yeah.
My sources tell me you've been poking around inside the old community center. Why don't you pay me a visit? My chambers are west of the Forest Lake in the Stone Tower. I may have information concerning your rat problem.
Okay.
So I guess we are going west of the Forest Lake in the Stone Tower.
So where's the Forest Lake? Let me see. Is that like, I don't know where Forest Lake is. Oh, I see it. So we have to go down and then over. Okay.
Wizard's Tower.
Yep.
So it's not too far from where we're at right now.
Nope.
Okay, so let's go down. We need to go down this way, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, people, I did have some people who were kind of trying to warn me against Bob, like people who told me that, like, he was still dating the one girl and she would come to work and bring him lunch all the time. And, like, people telling me lots of different things, but I wasn't sure how much.
It's hard to just go by hearsay.
Exactly. I wasn't sure how much was true and how much was not true. And, we weren't super serious, so I didn't really, I don't want to say I didn't care, but, we weren't super serious, so it wasn't, the most important thing in the world to me right at that moment.
Right.
Well, in the meantime, he had been telling me this whole sad, tragic story about how when he was a kid, he peed on an electric fence and he couldn't have children.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that sucks for you if you want to have kids, but, if you're concerned about me, don't be. I literally already have a child, and I'm not that worried about having more right now. You know what I mean? I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
And, I turned 24 by this point.
Okay, we need to escalate our way through this.
Yeah, we need to figure out how we get through. Oh, I think it's right here. Is this the tower?
Yep, that's the tower.
Sure is. But so this guy had told me this, and I mean, obviously I wasn't that dumb. I didn't believe that he peed on an electric fence and suddenly couldn't have children. Okay. But I did, I did tell him that if he really thought that he couldn't have kids, he should definitely get checked. And can you see what's happening right now?
Yeah, I'm doing the same cutscene.
What?
Are you telling the story of my conception?
No, I am recording a video with Aunt Holly talking about my marriage to your father and like how it started and happened and
So
all
a
of
video
that.
about my conception.
It is not about your conception. It's
That's
about.
not how the marriage started.
Okay. Hold on one second. How?
All
Alright. Anyway, so at this point he had told me, that he couldn't have kids, and I told him to, make a doctor's appointment and see and all that. Oh, that's a little guy. That's a little friend that was in there. I love him. He's so cute.
Disappeared every time we went near him.
Yeah. So we have seen one, and I love him. I want to be his best friend. I hope we can. The Junimos? Okay. But anyway, so I had him set up to, I had him set up to see the doctor and, have the sperm tested, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes, we did find a scroll. And, okay, now we just have to hang out here and wait for this wizard? Okay. So anyway, he had this appointment set for a Monday, and the Sunday before, I found out I was pregnant with Salem.
Yeah.
So, obviously, he could have children.
Yeah.
So he canceled the appointment, and we decided to, move in together and, have this baby. Well, at this time, he was still doing the thing that he did where, he pretended to like everything I like and, pretended to be this perfect, amazing guy. And then, basically, the moment I was pregnant and more or less, quote unquote, stuck with him, he suddenly started being kind of a dick. Not horribly, but kind of testing the waters, screaming in my face when he would get mad and, demanding things and,
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I'm slightly farther ahead of you in this whole cutscene thing, and this gets really trippy for a second.
Oh,
You'll see what I mean.
I think I'm going to vomit from whatever he just gave me. Okay. But so anyway, we moved into, we were living in my apartment, but he of course decided that he hated my roommate and she was the worst and wanted her to move out. Whatever, so we ended up moving into this 2-bedroom apartment, a little ways away, and that's where Salem was born, and he made me quit my job. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's go back to the community center now, I guess.
Yeah.
Decipher
We
that
can
scroll.
Maybe talk to the little guy and
Yeah.
the scroll.
Okay. Which way do we go to get there?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just gonna go this way.
But anyway, so he made me quit my job when Salem was a baby because he couldn't handle. Oh, a train is passing through Stardew Valley. That's great, I guess. He couldn't handle going to work and also taking care of Salem at night because he was a newborn baby, so babies cry.
Yeah.
And so, how do we get to the community center?
We're headed in the right direction.
Okay. So I ended up quitting, and we lived in this apartment for a little while, and then when Salem was about 8 or 9 months old, we bought a trailer in the trailer park, and it was actually a really nice place.
Yeah, it's like a it's more of like a manufactured home type.
Well, yeah, I mean it was like a modular home, I suppose, because it was one of the newer ones. But
Right.
it was very nice actually, and we lived there for a while.
Oh, you ran away still.
Spring foraging bundle. Okay.
I'm not letting you read it.
I don't know what this means. Exotic foraging bundle. Instruction bundle. Chain bundle. Okay, so I think that we need to come in here and like bring some of this stuff. Read that because I think we have at least like the wood one.
Oh, I have the fish.
Okay.
We have fiber, and I have 2 spice berries.
Oh,
I
okay.
just found them.
Okay. So do we need to go and get them, or do you
No,
have them on you?
I don't have the fiber on me.
Wait, I might have. Is this fiber?
Yes.
Okay, how many do we need? Because I have 1.
5?
Oh, okay. So we might have to go back home and get some stuff real quick.
Yeah.
All right, let's go fill our pockets real quick, and then we can come back here.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm so dumb.
Oh, I will.
I'm not looking at what we need. I'm looking at what I have. I'm dumb. So we need winter root, crystal fruit, snow yam, crocus. We need spiceberry. I do have that. Grapes and sweet pea. Coconut, cactus fruit, red mushroom. Oh my gosh, we need so much. Oak resin. Horseradish, daffodil, leek, and dandelion. We might have all of those.
Well, what about the one that needs wood? I think we might have some of that.
Yes, we need a lot of wood, stone, and hardwood.
Okay, I think we have that. So let's go home and check.
And we can look at like the horseradish and all that stuff too.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so at this point, him and I were not married or anything yet. You know, our relationship was kind of rocky, like from the get-go, basically, because he very much is, I suspect, is a narcissist. And so a lot of the things that he did were like basically to get me to like him, and then once I did, he just kind of like changed on a dime. But we had Salem, and you know, things were okay, you know, like we were fine.
Yeah, like it wasn't magic and sunshine, but it also wasn't torture.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was
Should we go to
working, and he wouldn't let me work, which was annoying. Did you say we need dandelion and daffodil for one of them?
Yes, and horseradish.
Okay. Don't have horseradish, but I do have dandelion and daffodil.
Okay.
We have regular wood and lots of stone, but I don't think we have hardwood. I think we need to upgrade our tools for that one.
Okay.
So, okay, let's go to bed, and then we can deal with the rest in the morning. I think we need to go back into the mines again,
Yeah.
because we need a lot of stuff. We need a lot more
Let's
copper
go.
so that we can upgrade.
We should place all of this stuff and then like into the thing where we need them,
Mm-hmm.
and then go right to the mines.
What do you mean, place all this stuff where we need them?
I'm pretty sure that we can just take like the stuff that's in our inventory and place them in the spots where we need them in the
Oh, okay.
and then just fill in the spaces as we go.
Okay.
Here's another spice wagon.
All right. Okay, well, I've got wood and stone and stuff. All right, let's go do that real quick, and then... Now,
Into the
come on.
mines.
What, we're not stuck at 2,000 gold, are we? We can get more, right?
I don't know.
Because it's red.
Yeah, it is red.
And that kind of concerns me, because if we can't get more money, we need to find a way
Yeah.
that we can upgrade that, because we can't even upgrade our tools until... Well, actually, you know what?
What?
I think we can upgrade one tool right now. Should I upgrade
Oh.
something?
Sure. I'm just gonna place these things that I have real quick.
Okay. I will meet you there after I'm done. How did you get back to the thing?
Back to the what?
You're at the community house?
Yeah.
How did you get there so fast?
I don't know. I remembered where it was. I just walked directly to it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll meet you there. I want to go to the blacksmith real quick first. But anyway, so Salem was a baby, and I will say there was an incident when Salem was a baby that I'm still to this day mad about. Bob we had Matthew in the car, and we had both kids in the car actually, and I used to do this thing with Salem where when he would be like really, really hardcore crying, I would pat his cheek real gently, and that would like calm him down, get him to stop crying. And we were sitting outside of we had the kids in the house. Oh, go ahead. We had the kids in the house. Okay, should I do copper axe, copper pickaxe, or copper hoe? Probably pickaxe, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what we
Oh
use?
no, wait, no. Get the axe because then we can do hard wood.
Oh, yep, you're right, axe. Oh man, it's gonna be ready in a couple days. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, well that's all right though. So let me go back to the community house. So anyway.
When we get 50 more gold, we can buy a wild horseradish.
Oh, okay. But so anyway, I was at we ran inside the house for a minute and left Matthew in the car with Salem. And Bob came out before me. We were grabbing something. I can't remember what. Bob came out before me. And when I came back out, he was all pissed off and screaming at Matthew. And I was like, what is going on? And he says, Matthew's smacking Salem in the face. And I was like, what? Well, I did not believe him, and I still to this day don't believe him. What I think was going on is I think Salem was crying and Matthew was patting his cheek just like I did.
Yeah.
And he swore up and down that Matthew was smacking the baby. And I pretty much guarantee no, he wasn't. And I'm still to this day mad that, he thought that was something that I was even going to believe about my child.
Especially since, poor sweet little Matthew was just trying to comfort his baby sibling,
Yeah, exactly. That was not the kind of thing that Matthew would do. It just wasn't.
He's
Actually, can I chime in on that for the audience?
But what?
Can I chime in on that for the audience at home?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there's a very slight chance that I was a stupid boy and might have done it too hard, but even then, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional.
Well, and honey, you were 4 years old. I don't think you were even doing it hard at all.
You're probably
I wasn't
right.
there.
You're probably right.
But I don't believe for a second that you were. I just don't.
That's fair.
But yeah, so, I'm still to this day irritated that was even suggested that my child would do that. But that kind of began the beginning of him, because basically from the minute Bob and I met, he would either hint or straight out say that he wanted us to, gosh, I have a lot of stuff that I really need to put away before we go on the
let's go do that then. Yeah, let's go do that.
But he would talk about wanting to go back to North Carolina where he lived before. And I think that he had kind of thought that he could either I think at first his plan was to become new daddy to my child, and then he thought that I would just basically take him away from his dad and take off, because his ex had left her kids with their dad, and they moved away together. I was not willing to leave my kid with his dad, and nor was I willing to take him away from his dad. And that was always kind of a sore spot with him. He was always pretty mad that I was not willing to do either one of those things. But I wasn't. And so, that was always a sore spot with him, that I was not willing to do that. Okay, do you want to go to the caves now?
Let me put away my a couple things.
But anyway, so I think that at this point he was maybe thinking that he could get me mad enough at my son that I was just going to give him to his dad.
Yeah.
And I of course was like, no, my kid was not doing that. You're wrong. I know my kid. He's not hurting his baby sister. And so that was that. And then we ended up moving in this trailer, and things were okay for a while, but he would that was when he really started getting crazy, when he snapped the cell phone in half. Is it up here?
I think we can get to it up here.
When he snapped, not the cell phone, the home phone, when he like grabbed it and snapped it in half,
Oh,
that
no.
was there. Yeah, you were with your dad, Matthew.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Aunt Tracy called me. He was mad, so he picked up our home phone and snapped it in half.
Psychopath. Jesus.
But so that was there. He flipped a chair. I had this
over here.
gliding rocking chair that I would rock Salem in.
Mhm.
And he flipped that one time when he got mad. He would like swipe things off counters and like throw things not at me but near me, like that kind of stuff. That's when all of that started.
Where am I? Huh?
Where are we going here?
I don't know. Where did this thing go? We lost the mine.
I think it's up here, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, we might actually have time to do the mining today because,
Because of the time.
yeah. But you know what? We can look around for like radishes and berries and stuff. See if, oh, here's some grapes.
Grapes, we need those.
Yep. Who just screamed?
Pretty sure that was outside.
Oh, that was outside?
I
Oh,
think so.
There's
But
nothing.
anyway, so that's when he really started kind of like testing the waters to see how much I would put up with and like if I was gonna tell and you know things like that. And
I was telling.
at this point, he wouldn't really let me keep a job. I would get jobs, but he would always like throw a fit, or like the kids would tell me that he was way too mean to them and they couldn't, you know, they didn't want to have to stay home with him. So I would end up having to quit jobs because he was so mean to the kids.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an issue. And then he ended up he lost multiple jobs. Like he didn't really keep jobs for very long. And then he ended up deciding that he was going to become an over-the-road truck driver. And that was like this great job that he was going to get. And he did. But in the meantime, while he was going through like the schooling and all that kind of stuff, I wouldn't ever destroy your town. What the heck? I would never do such a thing. How dare you accuse me of that?
We should go to the community center to put those berries, and I just found sweet peas.
Okay, cool. Let's do that, and then we can probably, I guess, head back home.
Yeah.
Where is the community center? I don't even know if I'm headed in the right direction or not. But while he was becoming an over-the-road truck driver and like doing the schooling and all the stuff that comes with that, we lost our place to live because he didn't have a job and I wasn't permitted to keep a job for long enough. I don't know if I'm going to the right place.
I saw you coming up next to the community center.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you add those, we'll have finished the summer foraging bundle.
Oh, really? Let me just see
Oh,
where
why
I
am I
am.
frozen?
Oh, okay. I'm right by you. Is this the community center? Yes, it is. Right.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
I have to plug in the thing because my keyboard just died.
uh-oh. But anyway, so he...
You guys lost your posts?
Okay, here we go. All right, bundle complete. Okay, so what does that mean?
Hey,
Oh, we got summer
blue
seeds.
things. And a new little scroll came up.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Gosh, what are you? What do you have? What do you have? Hi. Hi, can you talk to me? What are you carrying?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he's just gonna carry something and I can't talk to him.
Oh my gosh, lots of new scrolls.
Yeah, look at all that.
Okay.
He put something in the house.
Okay, so this is spring crops bundle.
Oh, and here we have to go fishing.
Oh, okay. Animal bundle. Fall crops bundle. Summer crops bundle.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Quality crops bundle. Okay. Alright.
And this one over here is like fish tank, like all the stuff we have to catch.
Oh, okay. Okay, so river fish bundle. Okay. Okay, crab pot bundle. Specialty fish. Ocean fish. Lake fish. Night fishing. Okay. Alright.
Cool. I think that's it.
Okay. Alright, well. Okay. Well, we just got some seeds, so let's go home and sleep, and in the morning I'll plant them.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, so we lost our place to live. He ended up going on the road as a truck driver. Like, he took off, and I ended up having to move in with our sister, with my 2 children, who were 2 and 6 at the time. I don't even think Salem was 2 yet. And we lived there for about 9 months. And during that 9 months, he would come home on occasion because he had went to another state for training for this truck driving school. It was like 6 weeks of training. And every time he would come home, he would go to his uncle's instead of going to my sister's where we were staying. Ooh, we got a fish. One of the fish that we need. And he really didn't come there very often, but he took off and he did the truck driving. And I ended up living at my sister's for about 9 months. And then after that, I was able to, okay, so do we want to go straight to the mines now?
After you plant those seeds, yeah.
Oh, yeah, after I plant the seeds. But anyway, we ended up going, I ended up living at my sister's with my kids for about 9 months. And it was fine. Like, you know, we got along fine. Everything was fine living there. But after a while, I obviously eventually was able to get my own place. And I ended up renting this house. And the entire time I lived in this house, for the whole year that I lived there, my ex-husband came home maybe, and I mean maybe, once a month. So it was just me and my kids. And he was working, okay, stop it. Okay. He was working, and the way he had it set up is he would get $200 from each paycheck, and then the rest of the money would go to me. Like, he had it split up between the 2 accounts, his own personal account and then the joint account that I could use for bills and stuff. And at first it was great. I was able to pay the bills, everything was going good. It was all good. And then as time went on with him working there, it was suddenly he wasn't ever coming home, and all of a sudden his paycheck, the amount of money that I was getting, became smaller and smaller, and eventually I was literally living off of $25 a week. I was not able to really pay any bills. I had, I couldn't eat. And then January comes along after he'd been working at this place for I don't know, well, almost 2 years at this point or something. Yeah. And he rolled his truck. And he fell down an embankment. And I still to this day don't know the details. I don't know why. According to him, it was because of the wind. But he was fired after this incident. So how are you going to tell me that it was because of the wind, but then they immediately fire you? Because
Right.
he obviously had to be drug tested and all this stuff. I still to this day suspect that maybe he was using something to keep himself awake, or like he was found to be at fault somehow, because he was just immediately let go with no, like, nothing. He never got back any of the money he was supposed to get for like toll roads and things like that. Like nothing. He was just, that was it. He was done. And, oops. Stop. Just close the gate. Okay. Everything's planted and watered. Now I'm going to put this away, and then if you want, we can head to the mines.
I actually am kind of mine.
Oh, okay.
I'm just chilling here listening to your story.
But so we ended up moving out of the place that we were living in and into this little apartment. And he quickly got a job with my sister's boyfriend at the time doing construction. And it was, it worked out well. Like, you know, they made decent money. We were able to get into this apartment. We got really lucky that we had a really nice landlord who was perfectly fine with the fact that, you know, he was basically making cash working construction. And meanwhile, I found out that I was pregnant with our youngest. And so, while I was pregnant, he was working construction most of the time, but then he ended up going and getting this job. He ended up going and getting this job in a factory. And this job, you know, obviously paid more than the construction and was a lot more consistent. And then he did that the whole time that I was pregnant, and then after our youngest son, Lucas, was born. And things were not too bad at that point. He actually was being a lot nicer during my pregnancy with Lucas. At that time, my best friend was dating this guy, and like as a couple, we like hung out constantly. But there were also like little moments, like after Salem was born, when he was still working at the place where him and I met, people kept telling me that he was having an affair with this girl named Jessica, who he worked with. And like there was some pretty compelling evidence. And he of course denied it, so I was just kind of like whatever. And then he ended up getting fired from that job after his mom died. And so, you know, that kind of ended that whole thing. And then there was like other things, you know, here and there that would happen. But I just like, when we were living in this apartment after Lucas was born, there was this girl that lived down the street from us who also worked with Bob. And I did notice that every time he would come home from work early, she would also come home from work early. But I didn't really care. I just assumed that if they're sending everybody home, they're sending everybody home. And then she would like stop me in the street to tell me that she knew my husband, and then just kind of look at me. And I was like, yes, I'm aware, Michelle, you guys work together. I know you know him. But she would just stare at me like she was like waiting for me to figure something out. And eventually, I think she moved away or something, or maybe he yelled at her and told her to leave me alone, because I was like, look, I'm getting a little tired of this girl constantly stopping to me to remind me that she knows you. Like, I don't care. What is the deal here?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's pretty clear that something there happened, you know.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just thought she was weird.
Was she just like, I don't know, what is the reason for that though? Like, was she trying to like rub it in your face? Or,
No,
like...
I think she was like trying to warn me, because were we married yet? Yeah, we had to. Oh yeah, we got married. We got married when Salem.
Oh, yeah.
So right after my mother-in-law died. Gosh, I'm leaving so much out of this story. When we were living in the trailer, before Salem even turned 1, my mother-in-law died very suddenly. And we were super close with my mother-in-law. Like, We talked to her. I think I'm sleeping. Yeah, I am. I'm sleeping. I passed out.
Uh-oh. But it's only 5 p.m.
Yeah, I know, but I ran out of energy. So I'm just going to go in bed until you are all done. You can go ahead and keep mining, and I'll just tell my story. So anyway, I my mother-in-law died very, very suddenly, and it hit my husband very hard. And he was just a huge asshole after that for like a long time. And obviously, you know, that was not a good thing or anything. But I also...
Yeah, but you'd think that he would have, like, clung to you for support and, like...
Well, he did cling to me. He wasn't so much an asshole to me as he was an asshole to other people.
Okay.
But he ended up losing his job because of that, because he was just so angry all the time. And I understood it, so I wasn't, like, a dick to him about it. But at the same time, like... it was also an excuse, because he was one of those people where, like, every year when we would get our taxes, he would suddenly quit his job because, he had a little bit of extra money, so, I guess he thought that...
So he didn't have to work for a while?
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of thing would get annoying. But anyway, so, in the meantime, we had Lucas, and he was working at the shop, and this actually was the longest job he ever had, was this job that he worked at. And when I was pregnant with my son, my oldest sister, our oldest sister, suggested to me that I apply for Habitat for Humanity for a house. And so I started looking into it, and I ended up finding out about the Habitat meetings, and we actually ended up going to the first Habitat meeting that we went to when Lucas was like 6 weeks old or something. And we ended up applying for the program, and we got accepted, and we ended up building the house that I currently live in now. And during that time, actually things were really good. Like, we were getting along really well. We were super excited about the house. Like, we were constantly just, like, driving around, like, going on, like, these... That's probably why Salem has this love for long drives, honestly. Because we would, like, go on all these drives, like, around town. And, just, like, check out houses and just, like, look at stuff and listen to music and just, like, imagine where we could potentially move once we got our house. Because with Habitat, they pick the house for you. You don't get to choose.
Yeah.
And
so you were looking at all the houses that were for sale and stuff.
Yeah. And, so we would just kind of look at houses and think about where we could potentially go. And it was fun.
Go down one more level and then
Okay. And anyway, so, things were all right. We got the house built. It was really nice. We moved in. And then when we moved in here, we ended up making the downstairs bedroom a playroom, and Lucas slept in our bedroom with us because he was still young. He was not even 3 yet. He actually spent his 3rd birthday in this house. And we put a toddler bed in there for him, and then Salem and Matthew had their own bedrooms upstairs. And we were doing fine. Like, we got along with the one neighbor, and, like, I would watch his kid, and things were fine, and he was still working at this job. Like, everything was really going good. And then in 2016, we had just switched our cell phones. We were actually on a cell phone plan with my friend, and we switched to our very own cell phone plan. And we, like, it was, I think it was in my name, actually. It might have been in his name, but I think it was in my name. And we had downloaded, it was like a Verizon, I think it was. And we had downloaded the app to, like, look at everything and just, like, check out how it worked. And we discovered that if you clicked on our names, it brought up like call and text logs. And I noticed that there was a certain number that was on my husband's phone, literally non-stop. Well, I immediately was like, oh, is this Roger? Because him and his friend Roger were always texting and calling each other constantly. Instead of saying yes like a smart person, because I would have never questioned it and I would have immediately just been like, okay, it's Roger. Because these were texts anywhere from 2 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like literally all hours of the day, all the time. And so that's why I assumed that it was Roger. Because they had very recently started like hanging out and kind of got close. And he got all like twitchy and like cagey. Oh, my copper axe is ready.
Sorry. I got distracted by something Jay texted me.
That's fine. I got distracted by my letter. I didn't realize I passed out.
I got quartz, lime, stone. I got 5 geodes. I got 9 copper ore, earth crystal, and a cherry bomb.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll put all those in here.
All right. I'm going to water these seeds real quick and then. But anyway, so instead of like just saying, "Oh yeah, that's Roger," because I laughed and I was like, "Oh, that must be Roger's number," and he literally could have just been like, "Yup," and I would have never known. Instead, he got super weird and cagey, and he why can I not turn in the right direction to water this? There we go. He got super weird and cagey and started sputtering about how it was Tina at work. Calling him for parts and texting him for parts. And I was like, Tina at work is not calling and texting you for parts at 6 o'clock in the evening. What are you talking about? But I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh, that makes sense, and left it at that.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense, and I was like, what the fuck? So I immediately did this trick that I had learned on Baby Center, and I copied and pasted the number and I put it into Facebook. And it brought up this girl named Kelly, who he worked with, who I had never heard of, by the way. So, of course, me being petty, I started casually mentioning her name. And he got, like, super weird about it. And long story short, turns out he was having an affair with her. And he, when I first found out, he wanted to, leave me for her.
You come to the bathroom with me?
Aw, listen to her sweet little voice. You can go to the bathroom with her.
need a pee.
Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom with you. Hold on. Can you pause it for a second?
Yep, I will pause everything.
Alright. 1 sec, I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, where are we headed now? We're just going to go get my axe, right? From the blacksmith?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so anyway, basically, you know, this was all going on. He wanted me to move out of the house with the children and give him and his girlfriend Kelly the place. And I was like, absolutely not. Are you insane?
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he thought for sure that I was just going to move out and give them the place. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And the only reason that he even decided that he wanted to stay together after that is because I would not give him our house. But I was still wanting to, yay, copper axe. All right, sweet. So I've got a copper axe now. So now I guess.
I'm gonna do my geodes real quick too.
Okay, that's fine. You go do your geodes. I'm gonna go find those bigger logs to knock down over by our house.
Oh, okay.
Or chopped up. But so I actually, in the meantime, James, my friend James, had, because like James and I have always had a friendship where we won't talk for years and years and then suddenly he'll just call me out of the blue. He had called me. Bob actually had taken off up north when I first found out about all this, because this affair actually went on for 2 years. but he lied and told me he ended it like 4 different times. And the only reason that it fully got ended is because I called the girl's husband because I got fed up.
Oh, she was married too?
Oh yeah, married with 3 kids herself.
Oh my gosh.
But so he I love her little voice. I was so confused on how our money was going down for a second because I forgot that but anyway, so James had called me and I, of course, cried to him and told him everything that was going on. And he basically talked me into staying in my marriage and told me that, basically made me see it from a different perspective, I guess. And convinced me that I should at least try to if he wanted to stay together, at least try. Well, at the time, Bob wasn't even sure what he wanted to do. So I wasn't even sure what was going to happen. But James had convinced me that I should at least give it a try. So I was willing to. And, at first Bob wanted to not, because, he thought that I was going to give him the house. And of course I was not. So once he found that out, suddenly he wanted to stay together. But little did I know, he of course continued this affair, like I said, for 2 years. And the only reason that it fully ended is because I told her husband. And then she ended up quitting the job, and he ended up quitting that job.
Oh my gosh.
And he quit that job, and he ended up getting the job at the place that he worked when all that other stuff happened. I just got coffee. So anyway, he ended up quitting that job, and I'm going to tell you right now, 2006 was the worst time.
You mean 2016?
Ever. 16. Whoops. Sorry, Salem. 2006 was great. 2016 was the worst time of my whole life. And here's the thing. I didn't tell anyone. My kids obviously didn't know what's going on. I told my 2 best friends, or my 3 best friends actually, James, Brenda, and Jennifer. All knew. And that was it for people that knew what was going on with me. Okay. I just got a whole bunch of hardwood. I have 24 hardwood now.
You got a whole bunch of hardwood? How many did you say?
I have 24 hardwood now.
Oh, cool. How many did we need?
I don't remember. Do you want to go find out?
Yeah, I'll go look. Yes, he is, baby.
I'll come with you.
You can...
I just drank some coffee, so I'm okay.
I might need something. Oh, I might have something that I can put in there. I don't know. I don't remember what we need, and I just got a bunch of stuff, so maybe it's something we need.
All right, we can go check. But anyway, do we go up? Is that?
Yeah, it's over here.
That basically 2016 was the end of my marriage, essentially, because at that point I really just didn't trust him or really give a shit about him. As horrible as it sounds, I agreed to stay in my marriage, but I did not give a shit about that man at that point.
Right.
As messed up as that sounds, it's true. And so, at that point things just were not even close to good anymore. And, okay. Another.
Oh
Okay, cool.
Oh, what did you get?
I got a coal furnace or something like that. I don't know, I have to look at it. But anyway, so basically, he ended up getting a really, really good job, actually, after this. And, I pretended, things were fine, and, him and I at that point, actually were getting along fairly well. And I think the reason that we were getting along so well, we were almost never fighting, and, honestly, we were getting along amazingly well. And I think that a large part of the reason why is because I genuinely did not give a shit. I think
Yeah.
we have almost all of these things. We at least have the
Oh,
quartz and the earth's crystal.
Oh, I didn't even realize another one popped up. I'm so dumb.
Yeah, you can go look at it.
I have things to put in there.
Oh, okay. Come on over here and see if... Yeah, I got a... I don't even know what this little furnace thing is, but it's cool. We'll find out when we go back home, I guess. But anyway, so we got along actually really well. And then he got this really, really good job that made it so, like, we had all sorts of money. The bills were always paid. Everything was going so good. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I realized this is going to be a very long video because I'm already at an hour.
Oh my gosh. My children are fighting now and Jay's gone.
Oh no, we can, do you wanna, shit. It's fine, whatever. Just, if you need me to pause, I'll pause.
Okay.
Just let me know if you need me to.
Okay.
But anyway, 2018? Yeah,
Okay.
because his affair went from 2016 to 2018. He quit his job, because, you know, the woman and him were still whatever, and her husband was not happy and the whole thing. So then he got this other job that made really good money. Him and I were getting along really well. Like, things were,
Uh-oh, I'm gonna fall asleep.
yeah, me too.
See?
It's okay.
Let
We
me
don't
just see
have
if I
any
can
money,
get in here.
so we'll get free medical care. So whatever.
Oh yeah, we do have a lot of this.
Yeah. See, so tomorrow we'll gather everything that we have and come and see what we can put in here.
Okay.
But anyway, so the two of them were, so he got this new job and like we were getting along really well, because I didn't care anymore. So I was literally just, instead of fighting, I was just basically just faking it, I guess,
Yeah.
because I didn't care even a tiny bit about anything.
There we go.
And so I ended up, this job was really good. It made really good money. In the meantime, I remember he came home one day and he told me that there was this chemical that they used at work and that it would keep you awake for hours. Well, I didn't really think anything of it. Okay, I don't know what we do with this thing. Like, what is this thing?
I don't know.
It's a charcoal kiln. Okay, hold on. I need to look at it and see what exactly you do with it. Turns 10 pieces of wood into 1 piece of coal. Oh,
Oh.
great.
Okay.
I guess, but we have tons of coal. Oh, no, don't throw it away. Geez, what are you doing? Okay, well, I guess I'll just set it down and we can use it if we ever need more coal, even though we have tons of coal right now. But anyway, so Bob comes home and tells me about this chemical at work and how it will keep you awake for hours and hours and hours. And I was like, okay, I mean, that sounds terrible, but all right.
Yeah.
And I genuinely
Remember that.
thought nothing of it at the time. And so he continued to work at this job for a while.
Why can't I see what's in the big one?
There's probably nothing in it. Let me see. Yeah, there's nothing in it. That one's the one that only holds one thing, remember?
Okay.
Once you have all the stuff, let me know and we'll head that way. You have it?
I got it.
Okay.
I've got the slime and the ore, so.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
But anyway, so we, oh, nice. So he would come home and tell me about this, and this chemical supposedly that he was, using at work sometimes, it would make him stay up for days at a time. And he wouldn't be able to sleep, and he'd be like really twitchy. Well, if I had been a smarter person, I would have realized that he was on drugs. But I didn't. And then he ended up losing his job. Well, my cousin had just died. And we had to go to his funeral. And my ex-husband, hi little friend. My ex-husband, ended up having to miss work to go to this funeral. And he told me that if he lost his job, it was worth it to not, make me miss my cousin's funeral. So here I am thinking, which by the way, my cousin's funeral was on my birthday. So I'm here thinking that my ex-husband is just being so kind to me and, making sure that I don't miss my cousin's birthday and this whole thing. Well, he did end up losing his job over it. And this was not long before COVID started. It was 2019, but it was like the summer, so it was July 2019. And as you all know, COVID started in March of 2020. So during this whole time, we only had my income because he was trying to get unemployment, but he wasn't getting unemployment. And he started hanging out and constantly, quote unquote, working with this friend that he had worked with at this place. And he was gone constantly, but he would always come home with money. And so,
We might need to go down to the mine.
okay. And so, he would come home with money. And so I just assumed that, he said that they were working together. But his behavior was slowly but surely getting erratic. Like, he would accuse me of all sorts of things. Like, he would accuse me of, having affairs. He would accuse me of, just crazy stuff. And at this point, basically, he was never home, and the kids and I were just kind of over it. We didn't really want much to do with him. And we didn't really spend a lot of time with him because he was mean, and he was always angry, and he was always twitchy. And then COVID happened, and he had been accusing me of having an affair with my friend for quite a while. And he had done things like disabled the van so I couldn't leave, and he was constantly screaming at me and fighting with me, and it was just, it was horrible. The kids and I were genuinely just over everything. And it all came to a head in August, or was it August? Yeah, it was August. Early August of 2020, he ended up, he had been, did you go down the hall?
Okay. I'm gonna go. There's a lot of copper ore over here, so I'm gonna go get it.
Where? Oh, okay, now I see. But he had ended up getting in my face. I was laying on the couch and Lucas was on the couch near me, sleeping or trying to sleep, and he had came in from the shed where he was, screaming at me, getting in my face, and he ended up pinning me down on the couch and screaming at me. And my oldest son called 911. And the police came and informed us that it wasn't a crime to yell at your wife, and made the kids and I leave. So the kids and I took off, and we were gone for a week and a half. And the first night we were gone, he ended up calling Salem, our middle child, and telling him that he had a meth problem and he was addicted to meth. And so, of course, I freaked out and demanded that he go to rehab. And he agreed to go to rehab, and he ended up going actually on his birthday, August 27th of 2020. And he stayed for 2.5 days, and then he showed up back at the house. And he had some paper from them claiming that he was fine, he passed his drug screening, he didn't have any kind of drug problem, everything was fine. And I was like, great. So basically after that, we spent the next 1.5 years living in hell. I cannot even describe to you how awful it was for the kids and I. He was still using. He tried to stop for a little while, but he wasn't successful with it. And he was still using constantly. And the kids and I were just, it was awful. Everything was always stressful. He was always angry. He was accusing me of cheating on him with everybody you can think. Just random people. he insisted that I was having an affair with George Not Found, who is a Twitch streamer that I've literally never met and do not know in any way. He also thought that I was having an affair with Bad Boy Halo, who is another streamer. He thought he would accuse me of being in love with a 16-year-old Twitch streamer. He would accuse me of having affairs with his friends. He would accuse me of having an affair with my friend, any friend, just anybody that I spoke to. He would wake me up in the middle of the night and demand things from me. And I mean, just my life was hell. It was genuinely hell. And I spent most of that time. Did you already go down?
No, I'm over here.
Oh, okay. I think I'm going to go
about
down
to.
another level.
Yeah.
But we spent most of that time, or I spent most of that time trying to figure out how I could escape safely with my children. And it was really bad. Like, oh, he also didn't work. Like, if it weren't for the fact... Damn, I just died. If it weren't for the fact that during COVID,
It's literally just not letting me go down. So maybe we just need to go back to the community center.
yeah.
Oh, my thing is not plugged in, and it's... Oh my gosh.
Oh no! Oh, I just lost my stone.
It's not letting me do anything. Like, my X isn't working.
Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'm dying. So I just left the mine. So when you're able to, just leave the mine.
Yeah, I'm trying. That's like the only... Oh, there we go. Leave the mine. Finally.
Okay. But so we basically, the kids and I genuinely, no joke, we were living an absolute nightmare. Nothing about our lives was okay. Everyone was, like, I got my kids in therapy because I didn't know what to do for them. And I mean, it helped a little, but I mean, it's really hard to process trauma when you're still going through trauma.
Right.
So it was really, really, really hard for everybody. And then in October of 2021, October 13th, we woke up and he was just instantly in a bad mood. And he was being grumpy with me. He was, being grumpy with the kids. And I basically told him, listen, no one is happy. I'm not happy. You're not happy. The kids are not happy. I really think that we just need to end this as amicably as we possibly can. And at first he agreed. And, he was like, yeah, you're probably right, whatever. And then I don't know if, he expected me to, change my mind and, thought that maybe I was just saying it, to try to get a rise out of him. But once we started, discussing, exactly what we were going to do, I mentioned that we definitely were going to have to sell the house because, I wasn't just going to give it to him, and he 100% thought that I should. Because he said he was the only one who ever paid anything, even though, mind you, he hadn't had a job in 2 years. And I was the only one paying anything.
Yeah, which is stressful because...
It is very stressful. And so he, are you still in the mine, or are you back at the house now?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I ran to the community center to put something that
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just didn't want to go get in bed if you weren't here yet. But anyway, so him and I kind of argued back and forth that whole day. Well, at one point I told him that he was a piece of shit and I was tired of him treating me like garbage. And he was walking down the basement steps as I said that. And he came running up the basement stairs and pinned me to the wall in front of the basement steps and started screaming at me.
Yeah.
Lucas happened to walk downstairs at that exact time, freaked out, grabbed his phone and went to call 911. Well, Bob ran over and stopped him, grabbed the phone out of his hand and told him he had no reason to call 911, everything was fine. Well, Lucas, who by the way was the only witness to the first incident in 2020 and was already traumatized by this, was so upset. So upset. So
yeah.
I gave up on like trying to get the police called or anything happen and just focused on making sure that Lucas was okay.
Yeah. What's going
And
on?
he very much was like not, but I calmed him down. Well, he ended up wanting me to come upstairs and hang out in his room with him because he did not like it when I was not around him. So I ended up going upstairs with him. Well, Bob and I, like, we went back and forth, like, we were arguing, and, I was explaining to him that I was just not going to stay with him. It was just too much. And, he starts, like, screaming at me, demanding to know how much alimony I'm going to want. I'm going to rob him blind in child support, and I'm going to take everything. And I just got with him so that I could take all of his money. And it's like, buddy, you've never at any point in our relationship had any money, and you haven't worked in, like, 2 years. So,
Yeah.
but,
So absolutely not.
he was withdrawing from the drugs at that point because he hadn't had any in a while because I wouldn't give him money. So that was part of why he was so angry. But he ended up, like, before all this, he very seriously told me that he knew about me and Roger, which was one of his friends. And when he first said it, I laughed because I was like, that's absurd. And then he got mad. And so I just kind of was like, whatever, I'm not talking to you right now. This is too much. And so I ended up going upstairs because Lucas really wanted me up there with him. So I went upstairs with Lucas, and him and I just hung out in my room because Lucas used to do that. I know, I love him. Lucas used to have me go upstairs in his room whenever his dad was angry because he figured he could protect me. And that's really sad because my kid was only 10 years old. And so he ended up calling me, like coming and asking me if I'd talk to him in the bedroom. And I agreed to talk to him in the bedroom. And he, where are we going now? Back to the mines, or?
I have some crystal or some stuff to put in.
Oh, okay. We can go back over to the community center.
Let me just put this fiber away.
And so he ended up bringing me in the bedroom, and he started once again accusing me of having affairs, and like he was kind of like saying, oh, if you don't want to end this marriage, we don't have to end it. And I was like, no, I do. I super do. Like, I'm fully done. And then, he told me that he knew that this was about Roger. Or no, he said something. I told him that I just couldn't handle his paranoia and delusions anymore. And I was like, listen, like, you accused me of having an affair with Roger. And, like, I said it expecting him to, like, acknowledge how absurd that was.
Yeah,
and instead he kind of doubled down, and he was like, yeah, I know what's going on. You can't hide it. And I was like, okay, listen. I need you to explain to me how me having an affair with Roger makes any sense.
Yeah.
And he told me that it was because he went on my Facebook messages and saw that Roger and I had once, like a year prior to this, when he was in rehab, Roger had called me to get the full story of what happened and why he was in rehab and like what the heck is going on. And I explained to him, I was like, yeah, Roger wanted to know what was going on when you were in rehab. He was getting the story. Well, in his mind,
as a friend, you think you'd be concerned.
yeah, in his mind, that meant that Roger and I were absolutely having an affair, because why would he call me and not just text me? And I was like, all right, if that is your basis for an affair, holy moly.
Right. That's just projection and guilt. But okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I should have just gone on the elevator. I'm so dumb. I do that.
But so he then, of course, went back to accusing me of the affair with my friend, and started freaking out, and he ended up going downstairs, and like he was trying to like confront Salem and like convince Salem that I was having an affair. And I got mad, and I was like, Salem, go upstairs right now. Like, I was over it. I was like, just go upstairs. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
So Salem jumped up and ran upstairs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he got in my face and he got within an inch of me and like punched towards my face but didn't actually hit me. But like if I would have leaned my head forward even a little bit, he would have absolutely punched me directly in the face. And then started screaming, "I didn't touch her! I didn't touch her!" And
Okay.
at this point, I was over it. So I called 911. And the police came, and they got I was pretty hostile towards the police, because the first time all this happened, they of course told me that it wasn't a crime to yell at your wife and blah, 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 blah. So I was kind of over it at this point. But the police were actually, no, absolutely not. You can't, especially when they found out that he took Lucas's phone, because Lucas told them that part. And so they had me and Lucas both write down everything that happened. Salem, obviously was not witness to any of it, so he was just kind of sitting there, being moral support, I guess. And so they ended up arresting Bob. And the very next day, I went straight to the courthouse, and I filed for divorce. I filed for a PPO, and that was it. I just filed for divorce and a PPO. And Bob ended up getting out of jail immediately, the very next morning, but he had a no contact order, so he could not come anywhere near me or the house. And we have since gotten divorced. The kids are still in therapy. They're doing a lot better. They did not actually see him at all. They wouldn't answer his texts. They wouldn't speak to him, nothing. They were very angry with him. But they ended up not seeing him at all until from October, the day he was arrested, until February 13th of 2022, which was when their very first visitation started. And now they have supervised visitation. We are officially divorced. We got our divorce was official May 13th, 2022. The kids have supervised visitation every other Sunday for 4 hours, which is usually when we do these recordings, although there's no visitation this week.
At our mother's house.
Yeah, at my mother's house. And we are in the process of selling our house, and that's it. And it took me a lot of years. Like, when Bob and I were first together, I thought that, I couldn't figure out what the issue was. I thought that I was doing something wrong. And then as time went on, I realized that he was a narcissist, most likely. I mean, I can't diagnose him, but I strongly suspect that he was a narcissist, or is a narcissist.
Yeah.
And
all signs point to.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I don't know. I just, he spent a lot of, oh my gosh, why can't I speak? He spent a lot of our, our divorce, I guess, the 6 months leading up to our divorce. He spent a lot of that time, thinking that I was going to take him back, and of course I did not and would not. And now he spends a lot of time telling people all these things that I'm supposedly doing.
Yeah. All these affairs and all this partying. And
yeah, he's changed his story so many times about why he tells everybody that he never touched me, I lied about it. That I'm the one who hit him. And that I just wanted to move my new boyfriend in, who my new boyfriend is has changed multiple times. He tells people that I'm at the bar every week partying. He tells people that I'm, he once texted the kids when I was at a funeral, demanding to know who Mom's boyfriend was in the red truck and why we were trading him in for a new person already. It was my best friend Jen picking me up for a funeral that we were going to, of a guy that we went to school with. So, things like that happen quite frequently. it's just it's a constant. It's constantly, you know, one thing or another.
Yeah, and the weirdest thing is that, like, it being with you for 16 years, you,
Yeah, I don't go to bars.
like, you're just
I-
not the weird person. Like, you're not the person that he's made up in his head, and it's the weirdest thing that, like, his brain even can make up that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, because
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's so far from you.
Mhm. I will say the one good thing is me, like, leaving him and doing all this stuff appears to have gotten him clean because he is on probation. He only got 9 months probation. Basically, he got a slap on the wrist for everything that happened, but I do have the PPO, so he can't come around. Doesn't really stop him, but, you know.
Where's the thing to go down?
I don't know, because I left. I'm back at the house now because I was dying. But, so, you know, he, I don't know. I guess he's clean now, or I think he's clean now. He has to stay that way for probation, so.
Yeah, and that's where you guys are now.
Yep. So that's it. That's the whole story. It is definitely not a love story. What?
Yep.
What song?
So there we go, and that's perfect timing because Jay is now home with lunch.
Perfect. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to. Well, actually, Holly, I can just say bye to you now, and then I can end my video, so you can go ahead and leave the call.
Okay, I'm gonna get there and go to bed anyway, though. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was the story of Holly and I and our.
And just to throw that out there, me and Bob always had a really good relationship.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh,
almost
yeah.
all the time because I didn't know about 90% of the stuff. Like, I knew that he was kind of a dick, and I knew that they didn't always get along super well. But I just kind of thought it was like a not really like great meshing of personalities more than anything. I didn't realize that he was just being straight up horrible to her the whole time. So it was really upsetting to me when I found out that he was as terrible as he actually is.
Yep.
Because
Well, and I could have
really
told
liked
a
him
lot more
more.
stories about like my relationship with his family, his relationship with his family, his relationship with our family. So maybe sometime, maybe when it's
Yeah, we'll
just
get
me,
into that.
I'll do a different one or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Or
even
we
just
can
next
both
time you and
talk
I
about
can
our
record.
relationships with each other's.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that next time.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Bug steak. That's weird, but
All right.
okay. All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
All right. Bye, Hal.
Bye.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being here, for listening to this. I'm so sorry that it was so unbelievably long. Like, holy moly, it was so long. So I am sorry about that. But where do I have new mentions? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm on my Discord. Anyway, thank you guys. I'm sorry that this video was an hour and a half long. But yeah, that was the story, the not so love story of my marriage. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I really hope that if there's dead air from when Matthew and his dad came here, I can cut it out. If not, I apologize.
So comment, subscribe, leave your commentary.
Comment Larry, remember?
Yeah, comment Larry.
Anyway, bye guys.